And good morning. Well, it's noon. It just turned noon. And I want to thank you for joining me on this Lunch and Learn. Now, today we're going to talk about energy drinks. Now, I personally do not do energy drinks. I don't need it. I have enough energy to get me through the day. I do have a cup of coffee in the morning. I don't do it for the energy. I do it because I love the warmth in my hand. I love the smell of the coffee. And so that's why I do it. It's more of I just enjoy the taste and the smell. It's not because I need the caffeine to wake up. I wake up pretty easily most of the time. It's really odd when I don't. And so throughout the day, I don't do coffee. I don't do tea. I don't do energy drinks. I just don't need to. I'm healthy. I do vitamins and different things. And so I've got all the energy that I need. However, if you walk down the aisle at your grocery store or at the gas station or drugstore, wherever you are, you're going to see energy drinks everywhere. There are the Monster drinks, the Red Bull drinks, the 5-hour energy drinks are all over the place. And so you're going to see them, and you may even be ingesting them. So if you are ingesting them, then I'm going to tell you some things that you need to look out for, and I'm going to give you a good, healthy alternative. And so this is why we're talking about this today, because we want to bring you information. We want to bring you solutions to problems, and we want to give you knowledge and power, because knowledge is power, to make good changes for yourself and for the health of your family. Now, I don't know if you know this, because I did not know this, but the very first energy drink was developed in 1927. So energy drinks are not necessarily new. It was developed in England, and it went by the name of glucosade. It was a sugary drink, all right, and it was a nutritional supplement that would help people in England recover from extended illness, even the illness of the flu. Now, they rebranded it in 1929 as Lucozade, and I think I've actually heard that term. I don't know where I've heard that term, because I was not alive in 1929, but it is a word that is familiar to me. So later in the 1940s, there was a drink, and it was called, interestingly, it was called Dr. Enough, all right, ENUF, Dr. Enough. And it contained a mixture of B vitamins, caffeine, and sugar. And it was the very first carbonated energy drink that was developed here in the United States, and it was developed in Chicago. So that is some of the history of these energy drinks. Red Bull really made a hit in the 1980s in Austria. All right, you might not have known that that is not an American brand. It was first launched in Austria, and it is a mixture of B vitamins, caffeine, taurine, and sugar, and it is the basis of all of the recipes of the energy drinks. Now, just as an aside, and this is just anecdotal, it's not in this report, there are a lot of people that are going to the hospital with kidney stones, and the doctors are asking them how many energy drinks are they drinking, and doctors are saying that energy drinks cause kidney stones. So that's something, if you are an energy drink consumer, you might want to think about that. The sports drinks, energy drinks, the market is $159 billion worldwide. Of that, the United States contributes to $14 billion in sales. So that's a lot. That's a lot of money that we spend on energy drinks. Now, teenagers are drawn to these energy drinks because of focus and sports performance. However, some schools are getting really wise, and they are they're beginning to ban these drinks in the school, because they know that things with high sugar content and high caffeine is not just really good for kids, because it causes energy crashes and it makes long-term focus and study difficult. So these are some things that, different communities are coming around, and they're making different choices. As I said, I'm not an energy drink consumer. My children did not grow up on energy drinks. And so this is something that I haven't really studied up until now. But when I saw this report, I thought, well, this is really interesting, and I wanted to bring it to you. So energy drinks are marketed as they have benefits for alertness and focus, and they also can have negative side effects. So this registered pharmacist in Wisconsin says that the amount and quality of caffeine inside energy drinks gives a false source of energy. You're getting more than what your brain can take, and it will be detrimental in the long term to memory, to the aging of cells, to the depletion of nutrients, and it makes you not want to eat, so it affects metabolism as well. So this is a pharmacist who's talking about the ingredients in the energy drinks and how bad it is. Now, if you know me at all, you know that anti-aging is a big focus of our clinic. Why is that? Because as the cells age, they don't perform as well, and then the body becomes more suspect to sickness and disease and all of the ills that come about by aging. So we had a lady come in yesterday, and it was my first time to meet her, and she had brought a friend in to the appointment, which is kind of interesting that people want to bring people into their appointment. And she said, well, I am 63, and she's going to hear what I'm not going to hear, and so 4 ears are better than 2. And I just looked at her and I said, do you think because you're 63 that you're not going to be able to hear and remember? She said, oh, I already know I can't hear and remember. And I just thought, well, that's really interesting because I'm 66 and I see and I hear and I remember very, very well. And this is the problem that people come into the clinic. They are wired in their brain that as you get older, you're going to have neurological deficits. That does not have to happen. However, if you do energy drinks, then that may be something that you want to think about, because we don't want to get older and we lose our cognition, we lose our cellular memory, we lose the ability of the cells to respond, to the challenges that we all have. And so when we're drinking these energy drinks, it depletes all of that. So we've talked about this before, but we haven't talked about it in a very long time. But we've got this beautiful little Pharmanex scanner here in the clinic. You take this little cap off, there's a laser there, and we scan the heel of your hand right here. It takes 30 seconds. It's not expensive, it doesn't take a long time. But what that does is it tells us what's going on in your body. Are you absorbing your nutrition? Do you have adequate amount of antioxidants? Are you hydrated properly? Because if you're not hydrated properly, you're not going to be absorbing your nutrients. So even though there are a lot of questions that we can answer when we're doing this scan, this is something that's really, really important, that we want to know what is going on in your body with your nutrition and what is going on with the aging of your cells. So when we do this scan on you, and if you score, pretty low, which most people do, honestly, most people do, they come in and they think that they're eating well and they're taking a lot of supplements, but then when they do the scan, we see that they're not absorbing that nutrition. So when you're not absorbing the nutrition, then you are going to go into cognitive issues and you're going to age poorly. So we don't want that. Nobody wants that. Part of the fear of getting older is people are afraid that they're going to get autoimmune disease, they're afraid they're going to get brain diseases, and I'm just telling you that that is not an automatic yes. Everybody is going to have these problems. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you that if you eat well, live well, love well, supplement properly, you can avoid all of those negative effects of aging. So researchers are now getting more insight into the combination of ingredients that these energy drinks have and how they affect the brain, and it is not encouraging, okay? It is not encouraging. So caffeinated energy drinks cause neurodegenerative changes in the hippocampus, which is an essential structure for long-term memory. This is according to a 2020 study in Anatomy and Cell Biology Journal. High sugar intake has also been linked to the increased risk of prediabetes and diabetes type 2, all right? The energy drinks keep the brain from adequately absorbing the glucose, and over time, impaired insulin signaling may contribute to neurodegeneration and accelerated brain aging. Now, one of the problems with Alzheimer's disease is just this. People are insulin resistant. The brain runs on glucose, and so the brain stops responding to the glucose, and that's why with some brain diseases, if you give the patient, the client, if you give them coconut oil is very sweet if you've ever tasted it. When that coconut oil crosses the blood-brain barrier, the brain sees it differently from glucose, and the brain will respond to that, and it will feed the brain. So we don't want to do the things that impair our insulin response. Energy drinks impair our insulin response. When we don't have the right kind of insulin response, we're not going to be able to pull that glucose into the cell in order to have the energy that we need. And that sets us up for prediabetes or diabetes type 2. All right. Insulin contributes, or insulin resistance, contributes to the advancement of Alzheimer's disease through various mechanisms, including the escalation of oxidative stress, as indicated by a study published in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences in 2021. So again, when we're scanning you with this little scanner, we're looking at how well you are making antioxidants that deal with oxidative stress. So antioxidants stop the free radical damage. Free radical damage is oxidative stress. So nutrition is absolutely key to moving forward into your older years and maintaining your brain function, your cognitive function, because that's what we want. All right, we all want that. Energy drinks are often packaged in aluminum or aluminium, as my English friends tell me. It is a neurotoxin that is linked to Alzheimer's disease. All right, so Dr. Aruna Tamala, she is an integrative psychiatrist at Trinity Health, and she is the founder of Psychiatry 2.0. Now, Psychiatry 2.0 is a mental health holistic program that if you've got mental health issues, if you have loved ones that have mental health issues, you might want to look at this because it is something that is holistic, not necessarily dependent on medications and that kind of thing. And so she may be able to help you. She is a medical doctor. Energy drinks contribute to ADD, ADHD. And how many kids are diagnosed with ADD, ADHD here in the United States? So food dyes such as red dye 40, also known as Allura Red AC, are common in energy and sports drinks, and they decrease the absorption of minerals such as zinc and iron. Now, why do you need zinc? You need zinc because zinc stops the replication of viruses. So zinc is a very, very good mineral to have because it helps you stay healthy. And iron, you need iron for your blood. If you don't have enough iron or if you're iron depleted, you're going to have some issues here. So there was a study done in the UK. It was a randomized controlled study with children that had ADD, ADHD. And this was done in 2007. And they showed that the consumption of artificial colors was widely used preservative sodium benzoate were both linked to heightened levels of hyperactivity in the children. A meta-analysis conducted in 2012 estimates that 8% of children with ADD, ADHD experience symptoms associated with consuming foods with these dyes and with these preservatives. Now, I will just tell you, when I was doing my master's degree, my first degree was education. My master's degree was in education. And to do my thesis, I studied attention deficit disorder and all of those effects and that kind of thing. So I know that almost everybody has about 5 ADD, ADHD characteristics, right? So what makes somebody be labeled as a problem has to do with how they behave, not necessarily what's going on with their brain. And a lot of the reasons why they behave the way they behave is because of nutrition. They either don't have the right nutritional components in their diet, or they have them but they're not absorbing them, or they have parasites. A lot of children with ADD, ADHD are full of worms. They're full of parasites, so that's something that we can do. I will tell you, that almost every child that's diagnosed ADD, ADHD is absolutely brilliant in their brain. Their brain fires very quickly. They have a lot of ideas, but they're not mature enough in order to cope with that. So if you make sure that they have the right nutrition, if you make sure that they're critter free, if you make sure that their brain kind of calms down a little bit, and you do that with good essential fatty acids. You do that with good omega-3 oils. You don't have to rely on pharmaceuticals. You can do it really, really healthily, and you can work with those children because those children are just brilliant. But don't think, this is what I learned when I was studying for my thesis, that in all the world, the people that have the most children diagnosed with ADD, ADHD are right here in the United States. And the percentage in the different countries per population is not the same. It's all about what we are feeding our children. And so that's just something that we want to look at because we don't want to have children that are having all of these problems, all right? Sugar and caffeine crashes are very, very real. There was a high school student, that consumed 1 to 2 energy drinks per day in order to stay focused at school, and he had side effects such as prolonged fatigue, headaches, and sleep problems. So the caffeine in the energy drinks is a diuretic. That means it's going to make you have to go to the bathroom and empty your bladder. Because of this leads to chronic dehydration. When you have chronic dehydration, your brain is not getting the fluids that it needs, and so it makes you irritable, and it can cause, again, insomnia and headaches. So dehydration from energy drinks causes poor concentration and fatigue, so we don't want to have any of that. Energy drinks can also cause long-term insomnia, all right? Dr. Tamula says that caffeine promotes wakefulness by increasing the levels of histamine, glutamate, neurotransmitters that disrupt sleep cycles. When you stop the energy drink, that can lead to caffeine withdrawal, and when you do that, then you are irritable and cranky and headaches, and you just don't feel well. Now, we know when we've done detoxification programs here in the clinic, and we've asked you to give up sugar, and we've asked you to give up caffeine, and all those kind of things, one of the things that is most often reported is, I have a blinding headache. Well, that is because your body is so used to the caffeine, and now that you've taken away that source of energy, which is a false source of energy, your body is going, hey, what the heck are you doing to me? And it responds in a negative manner. And that's not going to last for your entire lifetime. That's going to last 2 or 3 days. Then your body's going to calm down and that kind of thing. But you want to know that caffeine withdrawal is a huge problem. And if you are drinking way too much coffee, if you are drinking energy drinks, you're going to have this problem. Now, I drink a cup of coffee a day. I told you that in the morning. I have a friend who drinks probably 5 pots of coffee per day. So that's a lot of caffeine. So we don't want to do that. I mean, I love coffee. Before I started learning all the stuff that I'm learning and teaching you guys today, it would not be uncommon for me when I was in my classroom. I'd get my cup of coffee in the morning and I'd put it on a little warmer on my desk. I'd refill it during break time. So I would always have this warm cup of coffee on my desk, and I would enjoy it throughout the day. Now, I did not know that it was detrimental to my health. I did not know about the caffeine problems. I did not know about any of those kind of things. So I totally understand if you are doing that because you don't know. But now I'm telling you that you want to make sure that you're not doing just a whole lot of caffeine because you do not want to have that headache. Discontinuing the caffeine causes the blood vessels to widen, cause increased blood flow, and it results in higher pressure in your head, which is what triggers the headaches. So that's why you get those, because of that caffeine withdrawal. Energy drinks also release catecholamines in the brain. Now, catecholamines are neurotransmitters that cause irritability, all right? So if you have a friend that's cranky all the time, what you might want to know or ask them is, how many energy drinks are you taking? How much coffee are you taking? Because it could be that. The spike in the chemicals increases heart rate, blood flow, fight or flight response, and it leads to anxiety. So nobody wants anxiety. Nobody wants insomnia. So it might just be as easy as what we're doing and what we're eating with our bodies. Now, these caffeine drinks, these energy drinks, also cause seizures, right? We don't want to have seizures. I don't want to have seizures. I don't want you to have a seizure. So it promotes the release of glutamate and dopamine, which are excitatory neurotransmitters, and it reduces the responsiveness to GABA. GABA is an inhibitory neurotransmitter in the neurosystem. It lowers the seizure threshold according to a recent Nutrition Review article, and seizures stopped when people stopped with the energy drinks. Now, the report doesn't tell me how many energy drinks is too many, but I'm just going to tell you from all the people that I know that drink energy drinks, any is too many. All right, it just has too much stuff over there. All right, energy drinks affect the rest of your body. Concerns over energy drinks and the health effects of them is rising globally. Poland just banned the sale of energy drinks to children under 18. Now, I don't know how they're going to police that, because I'm a mom. I'm going to buy the energy drink. I'm going to take it home. Johnny's going to come around and get it, and I don't really know because I'm not aware, and I don't know that it's a big bad thing. What we need to do is be aware of what we're doing so we don't bring these things into the home so that the children can get them. The high sugar content of the energy drinks also contributes to insulin resistance and prediabetes and diabetes type 2. So why would we do that? Why would we poison ourselves with that will lead to a chronic disease that we don't need to be messing with, all right? The addictive properties of the caffeine is of notable concern for children and young people. So what do you do? Well, number one, what you do is you come and you see me, and we'll run this little scanner on you, and we'll see where you are. We'll track your number. Now, I have, doing show and tell today, I've got this little basket of bracelets, different colors, right? It looks like the rainbow. Well, the reason I have that little basket of colors is because on that dial, it will tell you if you're red, orange, yellow, green, blue, or purple. Miss Polly is purple. That means that I have changed the way I eat. I have changed the way I supplement. I have changed my vitamins, because I used to take a really, really good brand of vitamin, 100% organic, all that kind of stuff. I thought I was doing the absolute best, spending a lot of money, which good vitamins do cost a lot of money. And when I did the scanner at the first time, I was in the yellow, and I was horrified. And I said, no. I spend too much time, too much effort, too much money in supplementing, and I'm not getting the benefit of it. So I switched to the vitamins that the scanner company makes, and they guarantee that they will move your number. I switched to the vitamins, and in 90 days, I was in the purple. So that made a believer out of me. I love their products because they are exactly what you need. They are at the ratio that your body needs, and they are formulated in such a way that they are absolutely absorbable. And so that's what you need. Now, these people also make an energy drink. All right. It comes in a little packet that you put in your water. It has no dyes in it. It's got the same ingredients as the bad energy drinks, but not in the same concentration. All right. So this one has 3 grams of sugar, 3 grams of sugar from the berries that's in it, but also 3 grams of added sugar, which I don't particularly like, but 3 grams of sugar is far less than when you're going to find in one of those aluminum cans, all right? There is a little bit of caffeine, about the amount that's in a half a cup of coffee, so you don't want to give this to your children, but if you have, I'm talking about young children, okay? But if you are a teenager, if you are an adult, you feel like you need that, then this is something that you might want to look at. It's very healthy. It doesn't have any of the dyes in it, and the ingredients are very, very healthy, and they're not near as heavy on the caffeine and the taurine as the energy drinks. Now, taurine is an amino acid that you need. You get it from your meat, your fish, your eggs, your chicken, all of your proteins. Everybody needs taurine. But at that high concentration that you have in the energy drinks, it is very poisonous. There is an article that I was looking at, and I'll attach this in the comments. It says acute adrenal insufficiency associated with taurine poisoning complicated by cardiogenic shock, right? Now, all of those are horrible words, right? Cardiogenic, it has to do with your heart, right? Adrenal fatigue, and I know a lot of medical doctors will tell you there's no such thing as adrenal fatigue, but I'm here to tell you that there is such a thing as adrenal fatigue. When we do your iridology exam, we look at the pupil in your eye, and we can tell pretty quickly if you are in adrenal fatigue or not. And so we don't want you to be in adrenal fatigue. When the adrenals are overworked, they get into a negative feedback loop, and that means you just keep pumping out cortisol. Your cortisol is going to cause you to be insulin resistant. And so if you are insulin resistant, then we want to recommend Meta, okay? This is for any metabolic disorder. Insulin resistance is a metabolic disorder. Cholesterol issues are metabolic disorders. Your liver issues, fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which we see all the time, all of those are metabolic disorders. You're having a lot of oxidative stress. So this particular product goes against that metabolic disorder in all of the different systems that you have. And so you have remedies available in good nutrition. The key ingredient of this, and of course I'm gonna have to get my glasses because it's like minuscule print, right? And if I don't read the letters, I'm gonna say it wrong. And it has anthocyanins. All right, say that 3 times fast. Anthocyanins. Anthocyanins have been proven to reverse metabolic disorders and also kidney disease. How many people do we know with kidney disease? So this is a really good antioxidant that goes in there and repairs these things. We don't want to get into adrenal fatigue. We don't want to be doing what everybody else is doing. We don't want to be being led by the news media and the commercials and the ads with the energy drinks and then do that detriment to our own bodies. We don't want to do that. So I'm going to post this report. It's very medical, so you might want to skip it, but it gives you information. A lot of times, information is power. Once you know something, you can't unknow it. Now, you can choose to ignore it, all right, which we don't want you to do that, but you can't unknow it. So I don't want anybody to get to a sickness and disease state and say, well, Dr. Paula, you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me this. You didn't tell me that. That's why I'm always telling you what I'm trying to tell you so that you can work with this. Final thing I'm going to tell you, high caffeinated drinks with taurine lead to cardiovascular issues. What is a cardiovascular issue? High blood pressure, stroke, heart attack. Nobody has time for that. We're all too busy. Nobody has time for that. So you want to make sure that you limit the consumption of your energy drinks. It causes arrhythmia. It can cause AFib, racing heartbeats. And this was in a 2022 study. Okay, so we do have, as I said, we've got this healthy alternative. I have tasted it. I don't drink it every day. I don't even buy it because I don't need energy drinks, as I said. So it's not something that I'm going to have on my shelf, except for you. If you take energy drinks and you need a good substitute, then you want to come down and get this. It is called Pharmanex E Squared. And so if you are wanting to make a change and do something better for your body, then we've got something here for you. As always, thank you for joining me. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for doing all the things that you do and honoring me with your presence every Friday at noon. And I am going to head out for the weekend. I want you to rest, restore, do a lot of self-care, and I will see you next week. Take care.